News alert for you this morning. He was on the run for a month and police warned us that he was armed and dangerous, but earlier this morning all the pieces came together. 43-year-old Brandon Grant was arrested just after midnight during a SWAT team raid at a South Fargo hotel. He was wanted for attempted murder.
Police have been looking for Grant since the February 21st shooting just outside the Bismarck Tavern in downtown Fargo. He's suspected of shooting 3 people there. Check out this video. It's from inside the bar that night just before the shootings. The Red River SWAT team grabbed him today when they executed a high-risk search warrant at the Hotel Deluxe in the 1400 block of 35th Street South. A police spokesperson says people in that area may have heard some commotion because of the techniques used in that operation. Also breaking, one person is being treated for a gunshot wound after a shooting in West Fargo.
And that's where we find the Valley Today's Brian Sherrod joining us live from the scene with what we know about the situation so far this morning. Good morning, Brian.
And good morning, Jordan and Lisa. Police spent the night right here in the 1500 block of 11th Avenue East in West Fargo. Now, they first came out around 9 o'clock last night when people heard gunfire in this area. Now, officers did find one victim and say their injury is not life-threatening. The area was blocked off for a good bit of the night as officers and detectives worked the scene. The West Fargo PD does say if you have any video or any information at this time to provide it with them by calling 701-433-5500. Now, I did reach out to West Fargo this morning to provide an update. At this time, I have not heard back, but I will continue reaching out this morning and I will continue digging as well to provide you with the latest information.
Brian Sherrod reporting live. Thank you for that update on this breaking story.
And we have new information this morning on breaking news out of Moorhead that we have been covering. Police are now confirming a gunshot death on the city's north side. Officers were called to the 400 block of Sunrise Circle at 7:45 last night. That's the neighborhood north of Highway 10, just east of Highway 75. And that's where police found the victim deceased.
No one is in custody and they're not looking for any suspects. The Moorhead Police Department has requested the assistance of the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension crime scene team. Police say there is no threat to the public in connection to this incident. They do plan to release more information a little later. Jury selection enters its 3rd week today in the trial of a former Minneapolis police officer accused in the death of George Floyd. 13 jurors have been seated for Derek Chauvin's murder and manslaughter trial.
But the judge wants 2 more ahead of opening arguments, which are expected on March 29th. Only 12 will deliberate. The others will be alternates.
A quiet start to our work and school week so far, but we may have some action midweek. Let's check in with meteorologist Lisa Green.
Good morning. Yes, beautiful out there to start. It's a little chilly. Temperatures below freezing, but we've got this gorgeous sunrise to enjoy. Here's a look at our temperatures. 20s throughout much of the valley. There are a couple of places down into the teens. It's 24 in Fargo and 23 in Grand Forks. That wind is very light. That's great to see after a windy Friday and Saturday. And we're looking at conditions that should be pretty pleasant throughout the day. We've got clear skies throughout the valley. The rain from yesterday departing. We do have some clouds to our west with a few flakes with it. That may affect our Devil's Lake viewing area. You could see a few more clouds this afternoon, maybe a sprinkle or 2 as those temperatures rise. But I'm really watching what's going on down to the south in the Central Plains coming out of the Rockies, a new system that'll move to the northeast. That'll have some impacts here in the upper Midwest in the coming days. Today, though, quiet. 24 degrees right now in Fargo. Again, we're clear. We'll see temperatures out at the bus stop below freezing again. And then this afternoon, not bad. Heading home from school, 40s to some low 50s. Sunrise happening at 7:26 this morning. So even though we shifted a little bit, it's getting earlier and earlier still. Looking at our planner heading into Tuesday. Now, I mentioned that system and the chance for rain. I just want to quickly walk you through this so you can kind of have an idea of what to expect in the coming days. So Tuesday through the morning and into the afternoon, we'll be seeing some rain lifting in, especially to our southeastern counties. Fargo may be right on the cutoff for this, but overall this system, you could see the heavier rain associated with it will be focused more into central Minnesota into the evening hours Tuesday. Some of this does potentially lift into the valley as we head into Tuesday night, some of the heavier rain. And as we head into Tuesday night, there is the potential, as we take a more wide view, for some of this rain to change over to some snow overnight and into early Wednesday morning. So that could lead to some problems for that morning drive. And again, the focus is in the south and the east. Some forecast models have this this missing much of the valley and only just barely hitting some of our very southeastern counties. So be prepared for that. But I want to give you at least a heads up that this is a potential scenario we may see. And of course, as the day goes along here today and into Tuesday, we'll be able to better nail down a specific forecast for you. But we want you to be ready if you're in the south and east for what could be a messy commute on Wednesday morning. And that's why we have a first alert weather day for Wednesday.
Thank you, Lisa. Police are looking for the owner of a pit bull that was running loose in Grand Forks and bit a child. It happened just before noon yesterday in the 4200 block of 5th Avenue North. The child was bit in the leg but did not need medical attention.
The dog was a brown and white pit bull boxer mix wearing a camouflage collar but no visible tags. Police want to talk to the owner to verify a rabies vaccination. Now contact Grand Forks Police if you have any information on that dog. Minnesota health officials are warning against gathering for approaching spring holidays or traveling for spring break. They suspect a coronavirus variant is driving an increase in case growth across the state. In recent weeks, this says they race to vaccinate the state's population. Health officials say more than 300 cases of the B117 variant, first detected in the UK, have now been found in Minnesota.
A lot of people are ignoring those kinds of warnings and are flocking to Miami Beach, where city officials are extending an 8 p.m. curfew in some neighborhoods. The emergency measure comes after days of partying by sometimes unruly spring breakers, many not wearing masks. The curfew was widely defied Saturday night when authorities called in SWAT teams to help clear the crowds. Police in the Twin Cities are looking for the person who yelled anti-Asian threats at people waiting at a school bus stop. A man says he was dropping off his 5-year-old grandson in St. Paul on Friday when a woman drove up behind him in a tan vehicle.
After the bus pulled away, he says the woman drove closer and yelled at him to leave the country or he would be killed. Now, he followed the woman in his vehicle and saw her yell at Asian people at other bus stops as well.
I think that I remember exactly she said to me is that we hate Asian people. Go back to where you come from, okay? And get out from America. If you're not doing, we're gonna kill you. And I said, oh, okay, you talk to me, all right? And she said, yes.
St. Paul police say prior to Friday's event, officers had already increased patrols in and around areas where members of the Asian community gather.
It was a precaution taken after the shootings last week in Atlanta, which seemed to have targeted Asian women. Drone video shows the desperation of trying to get into the U.S. Dozens of migrants are seeking asylum in Texas after crossing the Rio Grande River on rafts. The group made it to the town of La Jolla along the state's southeastern border with Mexico on Friday.
New data from Customs and Border Protection shows a dramatic rise in the number of CBP encounters with undocumented migrants when compared to February, with Friday's total encounters numbering just over 5,500. Compared to February's average daily total of almost 3,600.
The spiritual advisor to President Joe Biden now under investigation for unspecified allegations. Jesuit priest Kevin O'Brien is on leave from his position as president of Santa Clara University in Northern California, pending an investigation for alleged impropriety.
A letter from SCU's Board of Trustees states the priest exhibited behaviors in adult settings consisting primarily of conversations, which may be inconsistent with established Jesuit protocols and boundaries. O'Brien presided over Biden's Inauguration Day Mass and has been a spiritual advisor for the family for years. Get ready to start seeing orange. It's road construction season in the Valley, and we have a number of projects starting today to tell you about. Starting today, 32nd Avenue South in Fargo will be down to 1 lane in each direction.
That's happening from 25th Street South to 28th Street South. Crews are working on sewer repairs. That stretch should be back open by Friday. Also today, 1st Avenue North in downtown Fargo down to 1 lane in each direction starting this morning. And both lanes will be shifted to the south side between Broadway and Robert Street. Parking will also be removed from 1st Avenue North in this section. The closure is for a crane that's needed for construction of a private building. It's expected to be in place for about 5 days.
Plus, the driving lanes on Broadway will be shifted to the east half of the road from 14th to 16th Avenue North. And parking will be removed to make room for these shifted lanes. Crews are working on overhead power lines for the next 4 to 6 weeks.
There's also some lane closures on a busy road in Moorhead. Highway 10 in Moorhead by the railroad underpass and 14th Street will be down to 1 lane in each direction.
Crews are working on a culvert in that area. The road should be fully open by tomorrow. Cruise ships are on track to return to North American waters, just not for many U.S. ports. Royal Caribbean and Celebrity plan to set sail in June.
Their ships will be based in the Bahamas and St. Martin. All adults on board will have to be vaccinated. Under 18, they'll be tested for coronavirus.
Let's get our answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. Here's today's question. When it comes to dinner, 18% of people say they never do this.
The answer is watch TV, but you can do it while you're eating breakfast with us here at the
Exactly.
Valley Today. The Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but the Valley Today, it rolls on. We have more live, up-to-the-minute news and weather for you, including multiple breaking news stories that we are covering this morning, and that's coming right up on the Fargo CW.